Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Callahan Center for the Senior Hero Awards. Thank you for joining us on this special celebratory occasion. My name is Kathy McCarthy, and I'm a Council on Aging board member, Framingham Heroes Awards team chair, and a 2022 Senior Hero winner in Health and Healthcare. This is our 5th annual Framingham Senior Heroes Awards recognition program. The purpose of this award is to recognize residents who are 60+ years young for their local volunteer contributions to cultivating inclusivity and diversity. Today we have the honor of recognizing 4 active seniors who have generously contributed their time and experience to improve the quality of life in Framingham. And I'll just name them off. We'll introduce them afterwards. They can wave. Marcia Sharp, Culture and Arts. Robert Bob Ansbach, Social Development. Sharon Arroyo, Health and Healthcare. And Larry Stute, Public Service. Our honorees have touched many facets of the city and helped support our diverse community. They engage all ages, backgrounds, and bring various perspectives to the homes of our residents via video and local cable TV. And thank you for Framingham Access TV for videotaping this, and you'll be able to see it on Access in a few days or whatever. Thank you. They provide advocacy, compassion, and engagement for veterans and those who are underserved. Care for seniors' health and those in need or crisis, and provide valuable outreach that promotes better understanding and education about the environment, climate, and energy savings. They also inspire and empower all members of our community to get involved. We are tremendously grateful to our unsung seniors who continue to be the backbone of our community through their unselfish volunteerism. Our FSH program team thanks everyone who submitted nominations, the nominees, and all who assisted us in outreach. Thanks to Randy Ellsworth, our director of the Callahan Center, their staff, amazing staff here, and Mary McGill and the Friends of Callahan who has supported us, and the Framingham Garden Club, and Marie, who you can see the corsages and boutonnieres that they donated and made for us. And of course, our sponsor, Framingham Council on Aging. COA members that are present, please stand if you are able. I'm going to name you all. Clyde Doughton. And you can stay. Audrey Hall. Brenda Diaz. Luciana Castrudin, Cynthia Cobb, Jane Rich, Linda Levitt, Tom Grove, Marie Giorgetti, Dr. Pat Dunn, and myself, Kathy. We appreciate our state senator and state reps who will present our official citations to our winners. We also acknowledge the support of our city dignitaries who are present today. Let's give them a hand. At this time, I would like to introduce the FSHA program team members who are all residents of Framingham. I'm sure you'll want to join me in thanking them. Please stand and being recognized. Brian Sullivan. Brenda Diaz. Carol Daniels. Oh, yes, Carol. And a special appreciation to Glenda Thomas, who started this program and has provided leadership, guidance, and assistance since the program's inception. Thank you, Glenda. And we'll hear more after the honorees. We'll hear more from Glenda. Volunteerism brings joy, caring, and hope. And being a person for and with others, no matter what our differences, makes our city stronger together. Our senior heroes of 2025 inspire us to be proud to be a part of the positive ripple effect of diversity and inclusivity. While volunteering, we seek opportunities to discover the beauty and the benefit of those who may seem different than ourselves. Our presence and new friendships found remind them of their worth, and one small act of kindness could mean the world to them. Kindness breaks barriers. Inclusion and equality build bridges, and diversity makes us stronger. Life is good when you're happy, right? But much better when others are happy because of you. And I'm sure many of us in the audience here volunteer a lot, and we're proud of you. Keep up the good work because you are making others happy. As Maya Angelou said, I've learned that people will forget what you did. People will forget what you said, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Be inclusive, be a friend, be grateful, reach out and encourage someone, and take time to volunteer. Thank you all very much. Now I welcome Randy Ellsworth, Director of Aging Services, with greetings from the Callahan Center.
Okay, can everyone hear me okay? Well, for the Callahan Center, I just want to welcome everyone today. People who are used to coming to this event, you'll look around the room today, and this is very different from the past 4 years. This event seems to be growing. So it really says a lot about the community, says a lot about the Framingham Senior Heroes Award Committee in all the efforts that they put into this. So welcome everyone here today. It's great having you at the Callahan Center. It's such a special occasion for us. As Kathy had mentioned, this is the 5th year for this particular award. So congratulations to the award recipients today, well deserving. So it's great having everyone here. The Callahan Center has been really thriving lately, and we've done better than ever. And we have because we have tremendous support here at the Callahan Center. Many people know that the Callahan Center's attendances have been higher than they ever have been in the history of the Callahan Center. So it's really amazing every month that we do so well here, and it's because of the support system. So I just want to take a few moments just to say thank you to the folks that help support myself here at the Callahan Center, as well as our staff. I do want to recognize some of the folks here so I'll go around the room. They said, Randy, do it in 2 minutes. So, okay, so I'm on the clock here. So let's see if I can do this and see if I can locate everyone that has really gone above and beyond in giving us our support to make everything happen here at the Callahan Center. I'd like to start off with our mayor, Charlie Sositsky. And sitting right next to me is the First Lady, Robin Kay. For our state representatives, as I scan the room, I see our state representative, Kate Donahue. And we may be having another state representative come soon. Yeah, Priscilla Sousa, I heard, should be coming soon. And absolutely, and also from Senate President Karen Spilka's office, we have a person who's well known to the community, Dennis Giambetti. For the city councilors, I'm looking out in the room, I see City Councilor Mike Cannon. And as I look out there, I see Councilor Tracy Bryan. And as I look out the room, have I missed missed anyone from the city council? The chair of the city, there he is. I had to look at, there we go, now I see him. And the chair of the city council, Phil Ottaviani.
I'm going to give you their phone numbers if it takes me off speed dial. I'll give you their numbers.
Absolutely. And so thank you so much for coming today. We greatly appreciate that support from the mayor's office, from the city council, at the state level as well. We really appreciate that. Now, Kathy had mentioned some of the folks on the Council on Aging board, and this idea started by Glenda Thomas years ago, came out of that Council on Aging board, and for that group, and then they have a separate subcommittee, the Framingham Senior Heroes Award Committee, to actually make this event happen every year. So she's already named off all the folks, so I won't repeat them, but I would like to recognize there's a fundraising group here associated with the Callahan Center, and they're called the Friends of Callahan. And their president is here today, and that's Mary McGill. Also on the Friends of Callahan, Carol Daniels is here. Yeah. Carol Locke, I believe, is here in the building as well. If I remember, there she is, yeah, a previous award recipient as well. And also on the committee, make sure I got everyone as I'm scanning the room. Let me see, did I get everyone in the... Oh, Marie Gibbons is also here as well. There's Marie Gibbons, wonderful. Thank you. And Sheila Watnick is in the very, very back. So the Friends of Callahan, as well as the Callahan Center, try to partner with the Framingham Senior Heroes Award Committee, and anything that Kathy needs, as she was in the lead this year for this, we try to support everything that she needs. So that was wonderful. Also from the mayor's office, I see Susan Petroni, that is here as well. I see Jesse Edwards, also from the mayor's office, sitting up there. And so that's wonderful. And I think I've got everyone here. And I just want to say a heartfelt thank you also to the Callahan Center staff. I get a lot of, I get to go out front, grab the microphone, be in the spotlight. But really it's the staff that gets all the credit, because every single day, if you're trying to handle 3,000 to 4,000 visits a month, you need a really good staff. And that staff is here, some of them are in the room. Cheryl Lavalley, I see here in the room. Also a person that was instrumental in really making this event happen today would be Terry Shea. And Terry is around here, she's in the back. Also, Sonam Sofit is our customer service representative here. And I want to see if there's anyone else also on our staff. The ladies at the front desk are probably some of the busiest people in Framingham. So they get to know everyone in Framingham. And that front desk to Carol Glover, Diane Kruger, Mary Kenny, Savitri Ragalam. They've done a wonderful job. And also Noelia Valdez as well, their supervisor. So thank you to the staff as well. Kathy, I think I caught everybody, but I violated the 2-minute rule. But that's okay. So wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Once again, have a wonderful, enjoy the ceremony this afternoon. Congratulations to the recipients. We do, in the back of the room, have coffee, water. I see some ginger ale, there's a cake back there. So later on, if you would like something, cookies, the things are getting added as I'm talking. And so it's gonna be wonderful. So enjoy it today, the ceremony. Thank you so much.
Thank you. If we can welcome Dennis Giambetti for our Senate President, Karen Spilka.
Thanks, Kathy. I would get one of those citations if I could. Yeah, that's great, thanks. First of all, the Senate President was unable to attend this afternoon, but she wanted me to send her regrets and congratulations to each of the recipients. With me, I have a citation for each of you from the State Senate, signed by the Senate President. But before I do that, I'd just like to make a comment about Kathy McCarthy, about how much work she puts into this event. I mean, last year, I recall correctly, the program itself is beautiful. She really puts her heart and soul in this ceremony. And if anybody's ever worked with Kathy on a project, you know there's a million spreadsheets, and there's detail that never overlooks a detail. So I just wanted to give Kathy a shout out for the great job that you did. Great political announcement, I think. Well deserved, Kathy. I do have a citation that each of the recipients will receive. I will read it, and so you get a flavor of what it says. Each one will get their own citation. It says Commonwealth of Mass, State Senate. Official citation, be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Marcia Sharp in this case, in recognition of being named the 2025 Framingham Hero for Diversity and Inclusivity, Culture and Arts for her dedication to access Framingham. And be further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to and copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate, signed by your State Senator Karen Spilka, also Senate President Karen Spilka, today, June 5th, 2025. Congratulations, each of the recipients. Kate Donahue, Representative Kate Donahue is here also, representing the House.
Thank you, Kathy. So, as I said, it's exciting to be here. I send apologies on behalf of Representative Jack Patrick Lewis and Representative Danielle Gregoire, who couldn't be here today, and Rep. Souza is on her way. So, just got confirmation. She may have trouble finding parking based on my experience. So, like Dennis did, I do want to take a minute to thank Kathy. And as Dennis said, each person will get their own citation. I'm going to read the one that I have here for Larry Stute, who lives in Sub-Precinct 21A, the part of Framingham that I represent. So, cheers for Sub-Precinct 21A. So, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations, in this case to Larry Stute, in recognition of, and this will be for all of them, being a 2025 Framingham Senior Hero on account of your many years of community service, and in this case it says especially in environmental justice. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Given this 5th day of June, 2025, signed by Speaker of the House Ron Mariano, and we make it work. We get all 4 rep signatures on, so signed by Rep. Kate Donahue, Rep. Danielle Gregoire, Rep. Jack Patrick Lewis, and Rep. Priscilla Souza. Congratulations to all the recipients. And a little bit off program, but if I could have Phil Ottaviani, Chair of the City Council, I believe he's going to read the citations for the senior heroes from the City Council.
Yep, thank you, Kathy. Ours are a lot shorter, but I just want to recognize my other fellow councils that are here. We got Leslie White Harvey, Councilor Cannon. There's one more I thought. Oh, Councilor Bryant, they said was here, but I didn't see her, but that's who here, and thank you for being here. So these are a lot shorter than the big State House reps in the Senate, but ours are they're a little tweaked. The first is from Marcia Sharp, my fellow favorite Rotarian. Congratulations on your recent award for the 2025 Senior Hero Awards. We recognize your passion and advocacy for Access Framingham program and volunteerism with the Rotary Club and Downtown Framingham Inc. Your actions and efforts are infectious and greatly benefit the community. Thank you for your service. All our names are on it, but it's signed by the mayor, myself, and your city councilor, Tracy Bryant. Bob Ansbach, my old teacher at Marion. Congratulations on your recent award as the 2025 Senior Hero Awards. We recognize your lifelong support and commitment to individuals and families in your roles on the Framingham Human Relations Commission, the Alliance for Metro West Unity, the ALPS Literacy Program. Your efforts are infectious and greatly benefit our community. Thank you for your service and commitment. It's signed by the mayor, myself, and Councilor Malik is your councilor. Sharon Arroyo, RN, congratulations on your recent award of the 2025 Senior Hero Awards. We recognize your dedication to local healthcare and meeting the emergency needs of our community members in your service on the Medical Reserve Corps, Metro West Medical Center, the Boston Marathon, and much more. Your efforts are also infectious and greatly benefit our community. Thank you for your service and commitment to the city of Framingham. Yours is signed by the mayor, myself, and Councilor Steiner as your counselor. The last one, Larry Stute. Congratulations on your recent award of the 2025 Senior Hero Award. We recognize your years of service in the environmental justice and sustainability initiatives, including being a founding member of Energize Framingham, volunteering on Framingham Earth Day, serving for Hoops and Homework. Your efforts also are infectious and greatly benefit our community. Thank you as a whole, and thank you for your commitment to Framingham, Larry. Thank you, everybody. Happy to be here.
Now we get to the important nitty-gritty of the event. So, I want to introduce one of our members, team members, Bob Evelyn, and he's going to introduce Marcia.
This is truly my pleasure. Truly my pleasure. We are honored to introduce Marcia Shaw, the 2025 recipient of the Framingham Senior Heroes Award for Culture and Diversity. Today, we recognize Marcia for her dedication to improving life for all Framingham citizens, regardless of their status. After migrating from Jamaica to our community, Marcia's impact in Framingham has not gone unnoticed, from her involvement in distributing resources to newly arrived immigrants, to her volunteer work with the Greater Framingham Community Church. She has been dedicated to addressing diversity and inclusion in the city of Framingham. Marcia is also a distinguished U.S. Army veteran who served with honors with the U.S. National Guard. Now, I'm not sure how she manages this, but she appears to assist simultaneously all the time in every place. You know that she's always there. I'm not sure how to get to it, but she's always there. Her ability to cover and lend a helping hand at all important Framingham events is legendary and inspiring. Some people look at problems and wait for others to solve them. No, not Marcia. Marcia just simply rolls up her sleeves, puts a little film in the camera, gets a little tripod, and tackles the problem. Marcia has selflessly trained Access Framingham volunteers, autistic children, and other community members in all aspects of video production. She's produced and edited more than 300 community shows at AFTV, Access Framingham. I'm inspired by Marcia's quote to me, which said, "Everyone deserves a place at the table regardless of their status." Please join me in recognizing and congratulating Marcia Shaw.
Thank you. So, Marcia.
Oh, that is good. What a mighty God we serve. That is good, that is good, that is good. So good afternoon. First, I want to say a sincere thanks to each and every one of you being here today. I would like to thank our mayor, Mayor Charlie and his wife Robin, all the city councilors, state and city councilors. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. A heartfelt thank you to the Callahan Council of Aging Group, their dedicated staff, who worked so hard to make this event possible. Thank you so much. I want to extend my gratitude to the friends of the Callahan Board for their continuous support and commitment. Thank you very much. Access Framingham television station became my safe place after a major car accident in 2013. At a time when I could hardly move, my life had shifted from 3 to 4 nursing job to sitting at home, lying in the bed. Access Framingham gave me hope, healing, and purpose. From 2013 to 2020, I produced over 300 shows. And if you're in media production, you will understand that when you tape a 1-hour show, it can take you 8 hours or 16 hours. Sometimes I'm a little bit on the slower side, so one show that I tape for 1 hour can take me a week. So, as you know, you have to sit and do all those editing. I am deeply grateful to Access Framingham and especially the Executive Director, Jason Daniel, for submitting my name. Mr. Daniel, can you just wave so we can know who you are? And to the amazing Access staff, thank you so much for all that you do. The power of art, culture, and community. I must thank God for life. As a survivor of multiple car accidents, I do not take this moment for granted. My name is Marcia Sharp. I'm a proud Jamaican American. United States Army veteran and a community servant. Since moving to Framingham, I've found a permanent home, a city where art, culture, and diversity are embraced and celebrated. Art and culture. Through my studies as a media broadcaster at the Roxbury Community College and volunteering work with Access Framingham television station, I've produced over 300 shows from 2013 to 2020, covering stories that reflect the art of this city, like Black Lives Matter, Justice for You stamp, Framingham Coming Together, and also church services from the Greater Framingham Community Church and others like non-profit organizations. But my service started with service to my country, my neighbor, and those underlooked. For over 18 years, I have been involved in persons with disability, at the Justice Resource Inc. I've worked there for over 18 years. Over 10 years as a case manager with Advocate Inc. And I've served in countless nursing homes and assisted living across Metro West area, including Bethany Nursing Home, Brittany Nursing Home, Carlisle House, Resident Care, St. Patrick Manor, and many more, as well as hospitals like Leonard Morris in Natick and Metro West Medical Center in Framingham. I believe that everyone deserves a voice, a seat, and a chance. That is why I give my time to cause like the Pearl Street Cupboard and Cafe, Pelham Recreation Center, Oops and Homework, Veterans Stand Down, Missions of Virtue, Rotary Club of Framingham, Framingham Community Church, Missions and Outreach Ministry, and many other organizations offering meals, mentorship, especially to the Asians, refugees, and underserved family. Framingham has given me a home, a purpose, a platform. In return, I show up as a United States Army veteran, a media producer, a neighbor, and a servant, believing in the power of people. Art and culture are not extra, they are essentials. They help us see each other, heal and grow. In Framingham, they are our heartbeats. So I leave you with this. Use your gifts, follow your passion, serve your community. Today we build something greater than ourselves. Thank you, Framingham, and thank God for the chance to walk this journey with you.
I can take this, so you keep it.
It has been a tremendous honor to work with Marcia, see her blossom as a pillar of our community here, and share her tremendous talents with us. She's got so many of them, and I feel like every time I see her, I discover a new talent that she has. She's dedicated, she's kind, she's humble, she embodies everything that is the best about our community, and I'm incredibly thankful to represent her, issue a citation, and celebrate with her. Well deserved. Congratulations, Marcia.
This afternoon, we honor someone who's never chased the spotlight, whose humble leadership has lit the way for many. Our 2025 Senior Heroes Award winner is Robert, or I think we know him as Bob Monsbach.
As Bob's coming up, we have a few more words to say. Bob has helped shape a more inclusive, compassionate Framingham. He often says everyone has a part to play, and that even the smallest act of service matters. His belief in the power of people together, lifting each other up, is truly inspiring.
The Social Development for Diversity and Inclusivity Award is about building stronger, more connected, and more inclusive community. For over 50 years, Bob has done exactly that.
And long before diversity and equity were buzzwords, Bob lived those values, welcoming others, listening with compassion, and showing up.
In 1969, he began teaching at Marion High School, not just educating, but caring deeply about every student. It's this same spirit that continued as he helped launch what is now the Alliance for Metro West Unity, honoring youth, making a difference through service.
And as chaplain for the Sons of American Legion, he's offered comfort and care to veterans and their families.
And through the Elks Lodge and the Lions Club and the Knights of Columbus, he's led efforts to support families, promote literacy, and unite neighbors.
For more than 4 decades with the Framingham Human Relations Commission, Bob has fought prejudice, pushed for affordable housing, supported mental illness and health, and welcomed immigrant families with open arms.
So when we interviewed Bob, I remember wishing that there was somebody like him when I was in school, because I was just one of the 2 Chinese families in Framingham, at Framingham South High at the time. And I never really felt like I fit in, so.
Well, Bob would have bridged that gap for you, and that's what he's done for many others. So please join us in celebrating Bob. Congratulations.
Wow. I think this is a little more than I ever expected. The reality is, yes, I want to thank all those people that everybody else has already thanked, so I'm not going to go through it again. But there is a reality that most of us know that when a baseball player hits a home run and he comes around the bases and he comes to home plate, he lifts his eyes to heaven. Because I think most of us realize that any accomplishment that any one of us have is really due to our Almighty. Amen. And so, with that, I thank God first for the fact that I'm here with you. And Reverend Lynn, you didn't have to write that speech for me either. The reality is that, as we know, sports can teach us a lot. And I would say that one thing that I learned comes from a golf player, a person whom I seemingly admired. Because as we think of volunteerism, we think in terms of doing something and not getting anything in return. There's no compensation, there's no money, there's nothing involved. We do it because it comes from our heart. And so I thought for a while, and I said, Bobby Jones. I don't know if you knew Bobby Jones. He was back in the 1920s. Anybody meet Bobby Jones? No. All right, so the reality is, but Bobby Jones was an amateur golfer. And when the sports people came to him and said, Bobby, why don't you play professional? You've got all the ability, get out there, be in the forefront. His manager has said to him, Bobby is an amateur. And the word amateur comes from the Latin amare, one of the variations. I taught Latin, by the way, for a lot of years. And that means to love. Bobby Jones plays golf because he loves the sport. And perhaps in modern today, many athletes we are out there could perhaps learn a lesson from him when we consider what some of their salaries are. But at any rate, I learned a lesson from Bobby, and that is, yeah, we need to do things voluntarily, do things without looking for recognition, which makes this day a little bit difficult for some of us. We didn't do it for the award, didn't do it for the recognition. And I didn't do it simply because I got old. But that's the kind of the reality that we all face. Volunteerism is unique, right? We know that there's a lot of activities out there, and none of us do it necessarily by ourselves. I realize that any accolades that I might have to be shared with many other people. The people that worked on my committees, the people that worked with me, the people that went out there doing the dirty work sometimes that requires an accomplishment. I know that when I look at us here, I know that many people here might say, well, what can I do? What have I done? Well, I would say that I look over the audience and I said, probably a lot of you ought to be up here sharing this award because you've done the things that we take for granted. Maybe it was just driving somebody to the doctor's office. Maybe it was bringing a hot meal to them at home because they couldn't get out. Maybe it was just simply visiting them in a nursing home or going to visit them at a hospital. Little things that are done every day and you're getting nothing back for it except the ultimate sacrifice or the ultimate goal of receiving your own personal belief that I've done something different. And the reality is, I know there's a story that many of you probably have heard, and it's a simple story, but it has variations, but I'll use this example. A young man was walking along the beach and he saw a young boy. And he was on the beach and he looked over the beach and there was thousands of crabs. And he went up to the young boy and he watched the young boy picking up and throwing in the ocean. And he said, well, what are you doing? He says, I'm throwing crabs in the ocean. He says, do you think you're really going to make a difference with those crabs that are out here? He went down and he picked up one crab and he threw it in the ocean. And he said, I made a difference to that one. Made a difference to that. So we know that we live in a world in which there are many challenges. We know that there's wars, there's violence, economic strife, political rantings, religious conflicts, and all types of prejudice and discrimination. We must all wonder sometimes, what can I do to correct all that? And it is one crab at a time. We need to be conscious of what we can do on an everyday level. When the season comes for voting, most of us know it says, get out there and vote. Your vote counts. We know that we have since we have representatives here from the State House and Senate, that yeah, one vote can change an entire process. Yeah. And so one vote makes the difference. Your life makes a difference. We know that Habitat for Humanity tries to take care of some of the homelessness in some areas, but we also know that churches, synagogues, mosques, temples, all have maybe food programs. I know that they have food pantries. When it comes to people who are without food, those pantries, when you're bringing one basket of food to that church, that mosque, that temple, make a difference. People can come and you'll have provided food one family at a time. I also realized that one of the things I've learned in life came from a man named Joe Press. Now, I don't know if any of you knew Joe Press. I saw a man, Tom, when he came in, and he and I were on the same committee back when Joe was alive. Joe was a veteran, but he had a pool accident, and he broke his neck, and he became a quadriplegic. But that didn't stop Joe at all. Joe was an ongoing individual from Temple Beth Shalom, and he went and he decided if we could get a few people together that worked in common and formed a Framingham Area Interfaith Laymen's Council. We know that they have the pastors have their own council, but he wanted to get the committees, congregations to be involved. And so he got us together, a few of us that were willing to say, Joe, whatever you want. And we went out and we got this group together, and we, much like we said earlier today, there are people that needed help. And what he did was, we resettled, and this was post-Vietnamese War, we resettled a Cambodian family, a Laotian family, and a Vietnamese family here in Framingham. We got them a house, we got them their food that they needed, we got them some support, we got them jobs, and they became active citizens in the city of Framingham. But that was through Joe's creative talent. He did not let his disability, much like this here is my personal disability now for a while, but I'm a temporarily disabled person. When I get this knee fixed, I'll be out dancing with the best of you. But the reality is that, yes, Joe went out and did something. And Tom is here. Tom was a part of that group that when he first started. And I thank Tom. Haven't seen him in a long time. But Joe Press impressed me. And it would make me to do the things that I do. And there are many others who sacrifice time, energy, and have the compassion to go out and take care of other people. One of the things that I've realized is when we look around us, one of the things I learned from my studies in the priesthood for 5 years with the Marist Fathers, some of you might know that it was Marist College and Seminary down on Pleasant Street. Right. It's now another area. A lot more people living there then and now than there were living there when I was in the seminary. But the reality is when I was there with the Marist Fathers, they devoted their life to Mary. And one of the things they taught us was ignoti ut quasi occulti. Now I know you all know that. And it simply meant translated, hidden as if unknown. Mary, as the mother of Jesus, spent her life hidden as if unknown. And she gave the world quite a gift. But the reality is that hidden and unknown is perhaps true for all of you who have done things. Today, all the names were given for the Callahan Center. That's great, and they done things. Maybe a lot of people out there beyond this building do not know who they are. But the reality is they're here and they did this for us this morning. I know that the Lions Club, those of you that go to football games down at Bowditch Field, or have gone to graduation ceremonies, or gone to other activities at Bowditch Field, know that the Lions Club does the concession stand. Volunteers all the time coming down to those games, rain or shine, and they will offer to sell hot dogs, popcorn, pizza, candy, soda, all those nutritional things. And they will sell those things because they give up their time. But the money that derives from that goes to eye research. You stop and think about that. Lions Eye Research. Their little bit of help here and there goes to a much larger picture. I think of that, and I think of them, and the Lions that wouldn't be here today. There they are, Mike and Roxanne. I'd probably bring their name up later on because and also Priscilla is a Lion, by the way. Yep, that's right. Thank you, Priscilla. And a former student of mine, Marion High School graduate. So I think if I'm going to get it to heaven somewhere, it's going to be because of the people that are here. Lou Ottaviani being one, Priscilla being another, and probably a few others maybe in the community. But the reality is that when I think about the charitable work we do, and you heard me say, I'm a member of the Elks. Well, I'm right. I'm part of the literacy program. Last year we gave out over 5,000 dictionaries. A couple of years ago, pre-pandemic, we gave out 18,000 dictionaries to third graders in the various schools. That's the kind of gift. If you've seen the faces of those kids when they get that book, and it's theirs, their own book, it's a treat to yourself. It's like, yeah, this is what this is all about. You don't mind doing it when you see the benefit that is derived from those kids. I think in terms of other things, I know that Reverend Lloyd has a food pantry. The Elks Club gave money to the Greater Framingham Church food pantry. They did the St. Bridget's. They did To a Place to Turn. The little money that we derive from grants that we give for the Elks National Foundation are monies that are used back in the community that benefit everyone. We've given money to the Jewish Family Services. We've given money over to the Independent Living Center. We've even given money over to the Friends of Callahan. And I didn't bribe them to get this award. But that is so true that individuals make the difference. You make a difference. You, in your own way, being here today to support us who are the award winners, That's great. I'll go home feeling really proud. My daughter will say, "Oh, Dad, what are you doing?" You know? And I sit there and say, "Yeah, I know that's." Part of me says, since I've been in this situation, I have a lot of people to thank. And that is one, that started with my daughter and my granddaughter, who have helped me quite a bit. And I'm sure that I'm one of those crabs that, so I think it's a different kind of crab, I think. But the reality is that they have done something. They have helped me. And also I have Dennis, who was a friend of mine. He was a colleague of mine. I was taught at Marion High School. He lives in Middleborough. And he comes up once a week and gives me frozen coffee and a coffee roll. Now, what more could I want being laid up in this situation? The reality is, it is the simple things that bring about simple pleasures, and we all can benefit from them. We all do. And I had a whole bunch of other things here. I think about it, and I said, but Kathy told me I had only 2 minutes. So I think page 9, 10, and 11 will have to go. But I also realized that I love doing work with the veterans. Remind you of that. Tomorrow is D-Day's anniversary.
Yes.
And so being there at the Memorial Park is something I look forward to. I look forward to being with the veterans at Memorial Day, at Veterans Day, and other activities. Flag Day is coming up. It's just a week away, down at Cushing Park. Want to be there for that. Want to be there to recognize our oneness, our humanity. We are in this together, and we can share and say to the next person what I've had them do on Memorial Day. Just there, say thank you for what you have been doing, and I love you for it. That's all we need to do. Simple words, but very difficult to express sometimes. Very difficult. So the reality is that I've got more than I would say, but I want to say thank you to Kathy. Thank you very much. Thank you, Carol, for all that you've done. Thank you for coming with me. Thank you all for the applause and all that kind of stuff. It's all good. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. We all love his sense of humor. So, Priscilla here.
Hello, Priscilla.
Can I say
Yes.
30 seconds? As one of the crabs that Bob has thrown in the ocean, probably more times than I deserve, I'm incredibly thankful to represent him, to have him in the community, have him one of my mentors. Honestly, for those of you who sometimes are annoyed with me, you have Bob to thank for that, because he's been encouraging me every step of the way. I wouldn't be have the privilege of being state representative if it wasn't for him. Thank you so much for everything you do, Bob.
To introduce Sharon Araro, our friend, and
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Sharon Arroyo is the recipient of the Framingham Senior Heroes Award for Diversity and Inclusivity in the area of health and healthcare. Sharon's presence in the community is a steady, comforting force, offering hope, offering help, offering healing without ever expecting recognition. Whether she's helping a patient understand a diagnosis, delivering a handmade quilt with love to ease a hospital stay, or simply listening with compassion, Sharon leads with humility. Her service is quiet, yet powerful. Anchored in love, action, and the belief that no one should ever feel alone. Over the years, Sharon has supported marathon runners in distress, vaccinated our most vulnerable neighbors, and stood by families in moments of crisis. But beyond all the roles that she has taken on, it is how she makes people feel, how she makes people feel seen, how she makes people feel safe, and her caring leaves a lasting mark. Her actions show us that Her actions show us what happens when somebody leads with heart every single day. So please join me, and it is my absolute pleasure to honor the 2025 Senior Hero in Health and Healthcare, Sharon Arroyo.
Hi everyone. I want to thank everyone from the Framingham Council on Aging for this beautiful afternoon, and I am very honored to be among the other nominees. They're very, very enlightening for all the community activities they provide to us. I do want to thank Kitty Mahoney for the nomination. She was, Kitty used, Kitty.
Here's Kitty.
She used to be our public health nurse for many years and was instrumental in organizing our MRC unit, which was very, very successful in Framingham, and we really miss you a lot, Kitty. I also want to thank Brenda and Kathy as being my wingman. And my family is here, and I have a little angel on my shoulder.
Yes.
This board focuses on inclusion and diversity. And in our community, when I was interviewed for this award, I was trying to differentiate how my volunteerism fits into these categories, these attributes. And I had to think about it, because when I do my volunteer work, I don't see it as a culture or an ethnicity or a financial status of someone. I see them as a person, and it's how I treat everyone as a real person, and not you're in this category and in that category. So it was a little bit hard to try to figure out where this volunteer work that I try to do fits into all of this. So I was thinking of some experiences I have, and I would say one of my favorite ones was the COVID clinics that Kitty organized. We did a tremendous amount of vaccines to our community, and I remember the first big event that we did at Keith Tech was overwhelming to our volunteers, let's say, 'cause people came from everywhere, much more than we expected. But we did it. We gave hundreds of vaccines, and I don't know if you remember the crisis that we all felt so desperate for these vaccines, and if you wanted it, it was very difficult to get it. So we were very, very proud to offer that to our community. We also went out to people's homes that couldn't make it to the facilities that we were sponsoring. So the people that were shut-ins were identified by Kitty, and we had teams that went out and gave vaccines to that community as well. We did the Brace community, downtown Framingham, for the Portuguese community, predominantly Portuguese. We did quite a few of them. And so I think those were extremely successful for our community. And there was no question of what culture you were from, or your age, or anything. You were a human that needed what we could offer. Another example I would say is the Boston Marathon. I've worked at the Boston Marathon in Boston at the Finish Line Medical Tent for 28 years. I did take a 10-year hiatus within that 28 years, but during that time I did the Boston Marathon for Framingham here at Keith Tech. But my friend convinced me we need to go back to Boston, so I've been doing that for the past several years, and predominantly working in the intensive care unit at the Marathon. As you know, the runners are a very diverse group. They are from all over the world, and we know that because we're all involved in this marathon here in Framingham. So we listen to all the stories of where all these people are coming from, and how happy they are to be here, and all the support. We hear it at the end. They can't believe the support that they get from all the spectators on the road. They run many different marathons, triathlons. These runners are very experienced, and the Boston Marathon is one of their favorites, and they are so thankful for all of you for cheering them on as they go through Framingham. And when they come into our tent, sometimes they collapse at the line. They don't even know where they are when they wake up. And they're in really bad shape when they come in. And they're scared. They have no idea where they are. Often there's language barriers, and they don't know who we are that are standing in front of them trying to help them. And they're scared. And some of them say they felt like they were dying, and they needed our help, and we knew what to do. We have these teams that are well-oiled. We have doctors and nurses and athletic trainers and physical therapy in all our different sections. And we all work as a team and give what they need. And it's amazing, within sometimes a little bit longer time than you would want, they are up on their feet and ready to leave, and they came in really bad shape. So that makes you feel good that you were able to offer service to someone that was completely vulnerable. They don't even live here, and they don't know anybody here, and they have to get up and go back to their hotels. But we were able to get them back up on their feet and go there. So it was always a good feeling there. Most of my nursing career was at Metro West Medical Center, basically critical care nursing and emergency department. The latter part of my career, I did some nursing administration. And again, I saw people from all walks of life in the midst of their most vulnerable and devastating circumstances. It wasn't only the patient, it is their family that you have to work with. And you become very, very close to them. And again, you don't differentiate them from being from different races. They're people that need our help. And we're very happy to be able to give that to them. One of the things that kind of disturbed me sometimes with some of my colleagues, when I worked in the emergency room, I'm gonna target the Latino community just because we do have a large Latino community. And in their native country, they often use the emergency room as their clinics. That's just the way they have always been raised. And when they come to this country, they do the same thing. And that would get our staff very upset because they see them as utilizing our facility as a clinic, and that takes staffing away from people that actually do need more care. And so then they get this grumpiness about them and just not being nice to the people. So I have been married to a Costa Rican for over 50 years, and I have been to Costa Rica many times. I'm well aware of some of these cultural things that are amongst the Latino community. And so I did have opportunities to talk to my colleagues about how this all works in their countries, and they don't know better, and it's up to us to teach them that this is not the best quality of care for you. You need to get a primary care or get signed up to the clinics so you can have continuity of your care, and it's the best for everybody. But they don't know that unless you take the opportunity to teach them. So I felt like that was a big contribution to some of the staff that I work with, because they never thought about that before. And then I would say, well, think about it. If you were going to somebody else's country, perhaps you got sick, you're gonna end up in the emergency room. You don't know the language, you don't have the insurance, you don't have this or that. You're depending on people to take care of you and treat you as a fellow human being. So kind of think about that when you're in this situation. I also remember a situation back when we were in COVID, which was a very, very scary time at the hospital. And we were starting to come out of it a little bit, and as you know, patients were dying without ever seeing their families. And so at this point, we were allowing a little bit of visitation if the patient was dying. And there was this one instance, this is when I was a nursing supervisor, it was a Saturday morning, I got calls, started getting all these calls. There was a a family member that had traveled from Hawaii to see his father, who did not have COVID, but he was very critical and was not expected to survive. And apparently he had called ahead to discuss this, to see if he could visit, and he was given permission. But that conversation was never communicated to the staff. So Saturday morning, he gets off the plane, comes with his family to see his dad, and they won't allow him in at all. Because at that time, the protocol was if you were traveling, you weren't allowed to come into the hospital. Now, so I started getting all these phone calls. The nursing staff's upset, the doctors are upset, everybody's upset. The family's extremely upset because this was gonna be his last time to see his dad. So I got his phone number and stuff, and so I'm like, geez, this is really a bad situation. Is there some way to work around this? So I started brainstorming, and so I went out to the parking lot to talk to the family. And I'd already been talking to the nursing staff, and they were kind of angry. And so I went out to the family, and I said, I'm going to go and talk to the infection control doctor. I know he's in the hospital this morning, and no guarantees at all, but I'm going to see what I can do, because I really feel bad for you. The man had done everything he could. He had taken tests before and after the flight. He had ordered the special respirator mask. Hawaii had 0 COVID cases. And so I just felt that there's gotta be a way to make this work. And so I did. I went and talked to the infection control doctor, gave him all the data, and he said, he was a little hesitant because we do have the protocols. And he said, Sharon, if you guarantee that this is gonna happen the way you say it will, and we have dynamics that you can only stay X amount of time and only you, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, I'll make it work. And so then I had to go tell the nursing staff, and they were very angry with me because it happened that the charge nurse had a family member in the emergency room recently, and she was not allowed to be there with him. So she felt that, you know, rules shouldn't be broken. I couldn't see my kid that was in there, an adult, so this shouldn't be happening. But I'm like, it's gonna happen, so get over it. And yeah, so we did. And the gentleman did get to see his father, and it all went well. And after that point, the nursing staff was like, oh, this is really a good thing. And they actually let him stay longer than what we had agreed to. So it was a very, very odd scenario. But I always tell people to try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. You can't judge everybody. We all have our own lifestyles, our own way of seeing things. And sometimes we're in a tunnel and we can't see beyond that. And I think it's very important to start looking at things from a completely different perspective. Try to figure out where this person's coming from. They probably have so many other dynamics in their life that you are not aware of at all, and only see what you think should be happening or could be happening. And so that's one of my biggest things, is always try to look at a little bit more of the person and the family, get everybody together, talk to them. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but you'd be surprised at how many times you can make things work for people. We all have our life experiences, and put those into the equation, so we just really don't know the struggles that other people are going through. So be mindful of that. Have an open mind. We are not all equal in many circumstances, even though we say we're all equal, we aren't. There's many people that have hindrances with education, finances, family situations, domestic violence, health issues, and you don't know that because you don't live with them. I think we all want a better world, and we have to set aside our biases and try to be more inclusive with our community, and I think it will make it a better world in the end. It might be little steps, maybe somebody doesn't even recognize it, but you know in your heart that you have helped somebody and have looked at things in a different perspective. Thank you.
Just one thing I do before I go into the last winter. Every year I do encourage you, read the booklets. There's 4 great stories in there, amazing stories. Every year we've had great stories on people. And you know, these are folks that are your neighbors, they live in our town. It's really inspiring to kind of know that these people live and do this stuff around us. They do great stuff. And again, thanks for coming too. Right in the middle of your day. I know sometimes it's tough for folks. We appreciate you showing up, and I'm sure the winners do too. Larry Stood is the recipient of the Framingham Senior Heroes Award in the area of public service. For those who don't know Larry, he's a staunch advocate for environmental issues and their impact on Framingham. Larry was a founding member of Sustainable Framingham, now known as Energize Framingham. And thanks in part to Sustainable Framingham's advocacy for microgrids, Framingham has a networked geothermal project which is benefiting an environmental justice neighborhood, which includes units in the Framingham Housing Authority's public housing. It's a unique energy project, which has actually drawn representatives from other countries to learn about it. Additionally, Larry was a leading advocate for community aggregation as a way to help reduce Framingham's greenhouse footprint. His volunteerism to our younger population has ranged from helping kids in the Hoops and Homework program to working with students at Framingham State on environmental projects. Larry's public service includes years on town meeting, as well as various committees. You've likely seen Larry staffing public information tables at Framingham events such as Earth Day, concerts on the Green, and Juneteenth celebrations. He has also worked with Project Citizenship, which helps immigrants with the citizen application process. Add to that, he's also worked voter registration drives, making sure we're giving everyone in the community a voice. Let's join together and congratulate Larry Stood for being this year's Framingham Senior Hero of Public Service. Come on, Larry. Congrats.
First thing I want to say is I'm really uncomfortable being up here for a couple reasons. I'm honored and overwhelmed to be standing here in front of you today. I thank the Council on Aging for the recognition, and I'm proud to join the ranks of so many of Framingham's outstanding volunteers, some of whom are role models and friends. And this has never been about me, it's about the work in my community. In all honesty, there are many in the audience and organizations that I've had the privilege to work with that deserve the recognition. Framingham Sustainability Committee, Energize Framingham, formerly Sustainable Framingham, Transition Framingham, several faith groups and church leaders, Keep Framingham Beautiful. They helped us collect up thousands of nip nips off the streets in the hope of getting them banned. And how many people pick them up in their yards and on their property? Did I mention 350 Metro West Node? Close to my heart, but we'll get to that. Both city administrations and the city council have moved with us to move the needle forward. It's impossible to discuss sustainability without mentioning Framingham's outstanding award-winning sustainability coordinator, Sean Lutz, who's sitting in the back there. He should stand up and take a bow. My family moved to Framingham many, many years ago because of the diversity of the community, both in race, nationality, and class equity. I feel a little uncomfortable being up here because most of my work is more about including everybody and bringing those groups that are not represented well into the conversation. So while much of the work is inclusive of the whole city, the climate crisis particularly affects underserved communities, those who do the least, are impacted the most. It's something that we have to deal with and something we should correct. I would be remiss, and anybody who knows me will agree with this, if I didn't take this opportunity to request that you go to Energize Framingham's website and sign a petition to the City Council to pass the opt-in special building code and make us a leader in community climate and grant program. That would make Framingham the 51st state to pass this, and we would join our neighboring communities. Or go to Massachusetts 350's website and sign a petition to pass an act to establish climate change superfund. That's H1014, Senate 588. This legislation would hold major fossil fuel companies monetarily responsible for the damage their product has knowingly done. I'd like to give a special shout out to Representative Jack Patrick Lewis, who is a lead sponsor of this bill, and give shout outs to Priscilla. By the way, I celebrated your birthday yesterday at the State House. I hope you had a great birthday. And my own representative, Kate Donahue, for being co-sponsors of this legislation. And again, we would be joining other communities in the neighborhood. New York and Vermont have already passed this legislation. I just want to thank again how grateful I am to have this opportunity to pitch things in our community. The opt-in special code will impact our community and allow us to get more state funding and technical advice on how to go forward. The special fund, the super fund, will charge those companies and those people that have been making fortunes off of greenhouse gas emissions from their products and allow us to use those funds to mitigate and to adapt to the climate crisis that's coming because of that particular activity. Again, I'm very grateful to the council for its consideration and recognition. And see, I really get nervous when I have to speak in front of people. I can talk all day long, but speaking in front of you is a whole different thing. And thank you.
And I can vote for you.
As you should. Yes.
Do you have everybody?
Yes.
3, 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Very exciting. Very, very exciting hearing.
And hang on, because your rep is going to.
I just wanted to say how much I admire Larry and all the work he's done. He not only advocates for the causes that he believes in, he recruits other people to advocate these, and he leads by example. He doesn't just say, support these environmental efforts. He lives an environmental life. Congratulations, Larry. Thank you.
I want to ask all to give a big round of applause to all of us. Hopefully they've inspired you all. Now, just a little side, we have the Friends of Callahan coordinates with our 5th and their 50th. So I'd like to invite Mary McGill to come up and say a few words on behalf of the Friends of Callahan.
Hi, everyone. I want to make this very short because I know it's getting late and you guys have been sitting here for so long. But anyway, on behalf of the Friends of Callahan, I would like to welcome all of you to this special occasion. We've already done that, I know, a couple times, but I'll do it again. This is a special celebration that honors our senior heroes whose lives remind us that what it means to live with purpose, passion, and perseverance. To everyone here today, this is more than just a celebration. Let it be a spark. Let our senior heroes inspire each of us to live boldly and never stop growing. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Glenda Thomas, who started this program. Where is she? She was here. Oh, here she is. Come on up, Glenda, and this is the last part of the program. This year, for our 5th anniversary, we have an unveiling of our plaque of senior heroes, and we want to make sure we thank Glenda. So Glenda, a few words of wisdom for us.
Oh, she wants words. You know, I'm really very touched by everything and everybody today. I can't say it better than what each of the winners have said it today. Yesterday I was interviewed by Access Framingham, and one of the things they asked me, what was my vision? How did it come about? And each one of you have touched on it. It was COVID. Our seniors were locked in their homes. They couldn't see their family. And I was like, how can we give them something for hope and for them to recognize? And that was how I thought about it. Because I said later, they'll be able to share this award with their family, their friends, be able to talk about it. And then there was the question about, what do you think for the youth? And I'm like, hopefully, these awards, their grandchildren, their children will see this award, and they will think about, well, what can I do for the community? So hopefully their family and friends will pay it forward. Thinking about it, people move into homes, they want to have a nice home. What's Framingham? We want people to feel proud of Framingham, and that they call that their home. So it's the kindness, the selfishness that you show. You don't think about what you're doing when you do it, how it's going to impact somebody later. That's what you said, and that is so true. So that's how this award came about. And I just want to thank the Council on Aging. I want to thank the Callahan Center staff, and especially the Framingham Senior Hero Awards Committee for continuing this. Did I think 5 years later we will be seeing, am I supposed to talk about it?
We'll be doing that in a second, yeah.
Oh, I gotta wait.
No, you go ahead.
Oh. Well, for years, I know the committee has talked about how can we have a plaque in the Callahan Center that all the awardees' names are up there. Do I go over?
Yes, go
Okay.
ahead.
So I was asked to help with the unveiling. Thanks everybody for making my vision, a thought, come true. Actually come into a vision, so thank you.